everyone, another version of Better Call Art. And this is, I believe, our 5th or 6th version of Top 50 Copiers. And if you look to the other side of me, you'll see my better half, which is Kevin Hoverman. And today we're going to speak about what's behind me, which is the Canon CLC1150. Right, Kevin?
That's correct.
Hey, that's awesome. So if you could give everyone a little background to your copier industry and what your current position is now.
Yeah. So I got into the industry in 2001, in actually May of 2001, right out of college.
Oh, you were a baby.
I was. Yeah, I was. Thank you. Appreciate that. And started as a down the street rep in New Hampshire for Canon New England copy specialists, and Charlie Tiernan and Dana Cunningham and Lee Peters. And we were a Canon dealer. And so this copier right here was the first color laser copier. It was actually the 1120, 1150 that I had the pleasure of selling. Currently, I'm the vice president of sales for Everyone Print in the Americas. And you may or may not have heard, but we were recently acquired by Ysoft. So pretty excited about that acquisition and what the future holds there as we kind of take over the cloud one device at a time.
Tell us more about the 1150 and what you liked about it.
Yeah, well, one, it was lightning fast. Again, 1120, 1150 series with Canon. The 1120 was 12 pages a minute, and the 1150 art, you got to jump all the way up to 15 pages a minute.
Oh, 15, wow.
15 pages a minute. It was lightning fast. The color quality was really unbelievable. But you see this thing behind you. It was a massive, massive machine and held so much paper. 2 trays that you could do statement through 12 by 18 in, and a bypass where you could run stuff through. Had a bunch of controller options. So of course you had the Fiery.
Yeah.
There was a Creo controller.
Wow.
Oh, big time, big time. Very, very exciting. And then there was one other one that I'm drawing a blank on that was the machine itself, our sales rep out cost, just the machine without any controller, was right around 25K.
Right.
We had a controller option that was 45K on its own. So you could sell that thing, a 15 page a minute color box, for 70 grand.
Wow. And they were all over the place. Every print shop had a CLC, whether it was a CLC 1120, CLC 1150, CLC 11, every place I walked into had one of these puppies. And was the quality that good, or was it just because this was one of the first color laser devices?
Yeah, one of the first networked color laser devices. Yeah, the quality actually was really, really good. I want to say it was probably 1200 by 1200 DPI, which back then you think, I want to say the machine was launched in 1999 or 2000, maybe it was 01. I don't really remember. Right. But it was beautiful. Matter of fact, the first one I sold was in DC. The first 1150 I sold and made a good profit to, and it was to an organization that did museum display fabrication.
Right. And
so they needed a proof printer. So they would take pictures of these designs that they had done, and the colors had to be perfect. So, I had sold 1120s to a whole bunch of print shops. Exactly like you said, because they needed color and they wanted to be able to print to it. So that was very early in the submit your job online and we'll print it phase, right, of print shops.
Yeah, and I think copies at the time, they were charging $5 a copy.
And this will take you back. I remember selling a CLC 1120 to a print for pay for 25 cents a page. That was what our click cost was to a print for pay. The world has changed a little, hasn't it?
Yeah, the world.
Move that decimal place over a little bit. So,
yeah.
But I remember specifically this particular customer that I sold my first 1150 with that high-end rip on. So I sold it for like $82,000. They had just done the Harley Museum out in Milwaukee. And so the samples they sent us to test print were pictures of their Harley installation. And they were looking at making sure the Harley orange was correct and that the background lights were correct. and they sent us files that I didn't have a disk big enough to put on a computer. They sent us 4 gig images.
And there was
And
no
at that
cloud.
time, there was no cloud.
Yep.
That was back when if you wanted to buy a 16 gig USB, they were like $100.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle to get the files just so we could print them. But I got a USB after I spent $150 on a USB to plug into the RIP to print directly from. And it was beautiful.
That's something
beautiful.
Yeah, that's something you don't think about back from 20 years ago, and the file sizes and the trouble we all had when they say, hey, can you print a file? And it was like, oh, dang, it's not going through their email, or it's not coming through my email. Oh, I guess it's time to do a road trip, right?
Yeah, and do you have a CD burner? Could you burn that to a CD?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a CD-ROM on my computer. How do we print this? Who's got the CD-ROM? It was life-changing when those little flash drives came out. But I remember, and now it's, for my kids, I just bought a little SD card to upgrade their Fire tablet that's, 256 gigs for $9. I remember getting an e-copy, take you way back, flash drive that had all of the brochures on it. It was 256 megs, and we treated that thing like gold, because to go buy those was $50 or $60.
Yeah, e-copy, one of my favorites. So with the CLC, I saw most of them without document feeders and without finishers. Were there those options, or basically no?
There was a document feeder option, but because this was really the first color printer, very few people were making copies on it. The copy quality, if you made a copy, was lousy because the scanner on it wasn't that good. You're maybe 6x6 or 3x3 DPI. It was pretty lousy.
Okay.
The print quality was unbelievable. So we didn't sell them with a lot of feeders. You see the one with a paper deck, that was pretty common, because I think there was 250 sheets in each one of those drawers, and that's it. So the paper capacity was really small.
Yeah.
So you'd add the deck, and there was finishing. There was a booklet maker. There was just a saddle finisher, and then there was a upper left-hand corner stapler. No fax option,
right?
And no scan option.
Right. And how about the weight of paper, different substrates? I think it was pretty limited, right?
Well, that was one of the big selling features of it. Is it had a pretty wide paper weight through the bypass simplex. So I think you could go up to 10 point through the bypass,
right?
110 pounds, something like that, but only simplex. But that's often what it would get used for. So a lot of print for pay customers would buy the 1120 or the 1150 strictly to do covers for the books they were producing on their high volume black and whites. So they would do that glossy cover or the heavy cover and then take it offline and do it. So a lot of print for pays just had the catch tray because they were using it for proofing before they'd go take it to a press. Because with the controller, and at some point I'll remember what that giant rip was that ultimately got bought by EFI, like everything else, right? Yeah. They would proof stuff for their press. So that's what it was almost exclusively sold at in print for pays, who had a press in the back, was for proofing. So finishing didn't matter. But a couple of corporate installations, and I vividly remember this museum fabrication company. I'd tell you their name, but I don't want them to know that I charged them that much. Hey, we got paid on profit too. Was pretty common in marketing departments, where again it was a proof thing before they sent it off to their printer. So it was pretty rare that we sold them with finishers.
Yep, comps and proofs. Yeah, I remember the day, and I also remember walking in all these print shops, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do, because at the time I was selling Ricoh devices, and I think it was maybe a year or two after that, Ricoh started coming out with their first official color type machines. Yeah,
we had one competitor in this space, and it was the Ricoh Doc 12. The Xerox Doc 12.
Right.
So if we found a Doc 12, we're going to sell you as a Canon because it's a third of the cost, and we can make a whole lot of profit on it. And the quality was just as good.
Right.
That was it.
Those were the days. Yeah, when you didn't have to worry about what type of GP you were putting in it, man. here's the price. If not, and when territories were a little bit more protected than what they are today.
Yeah. Well, and again, when Xerox, and this is old Xerox before the XPS and before, there was a time in the 2000s when MLK just started there, Xerox was really struggling, and they had gotten kind of fat and happy and stopped paying attention to customers, and they were just selling things for crazy prices. So I could go sell this thing for $85K, and it was half the cost of the Xerox Doc 12 they were looking at, which did a whopping 12 pages a minute also. So, speedy machines.
Yeah.
5 pages a minute, huh?
At the time, we got excited about those speeds, right?
We did. It was great.
How time changes. So, Kevin, I want to thank you very, very much for this educational episode on the Canon CLC1150. I'm looking forward to catching up with you over at out of BTA in Vegas during September. And I just want to thanks again for your time. And I want to tell everybody thank you. And I guess we'll see you later, right?
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Art. Come check us out. We'll be at the YSoft table together, everyone printing YSoft together at BTA. So come check us out. I'm looking forward to having a cocktail with you out there, Art.
Absolutely. Maybe a couple more than
maybe
one cocktail, right?
Maybe we'll do some chips together.
There you go. Hey, everyone. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And always keep in mind, there goes that motorcycle I was talking about. So always keep in mind, the harder you work, the luckier we get. Everybody have a great day.